Shalom. This is Rabbi Zalman of the BHI Telewatch. Here with a statement with a commentary. This is a message to every African American and especially to the self-named, in quotation, Hebrew Israelite community. Now it seemed as in the debates we've had, former mayor of New York City, my place of birth, the Honorable Mayor Michael Bloomberg, Achim, had made some comments in his career that have been brought out regarding the African American and Latino communities. Well, I'm here to say he's backtracked on some of these in order to win votes. Honestly, I, being an observer from the outside, defend his remarks. The fact of the matter is that you, in the African American and Latino communities, can barely conduct yourself properly within your own communities, amongst your own peoples. He's right in saying that you blacks and you Hispanics cannot conduct yourself properly in your places of employment. That's why when you attempt to become employed, your applications often non-considered because of your name of origin, and the negative connotations it can carry. The fact of the matter is that you don't treat your own kind satisfactorily. There's so much division within and amongst your own. And no more is that known than in the supposed black, Hispanic, Hebrew Israelite community. There's so many divisions between the camps, the organizations. One claims to be the home of the truth. The other claims to be 100% of truth. The other claims to be the only ones holding the truth. The other one claims that they have next. And each one is against another. The leaders are delusional. They're not united. They're divided. One claims to be the king of all Israel. The king of all Israel. What kind of integrity do these men have? They have no integrity because they're not doing anything. The organizations are only being furthered by their own egos, not by what has been promised to Israel. And that's happening to us, the Jewish people, not the supposed Hebrew Israelites. If you claim to be the holiest of the holy organizations, then it should be the black neighborhoods, the Hispanic neighborhoods. Some of you claim Native Americans to be part of your family. It's not happening on the reservations outside of the casinos. It's not happening in the ghettos of black and Hispanic residents. But it is happening in every Jewish neighborhood. It's happening to people like the Honorable Mayor Bloomberg, who is a wonderful, wonderful man of Israel. The proof is with us and not with you. Thus, you could not be the Jew. You could never ever be a Jew. How could you be a Jew? It's about proof. It's about evidence. And nobody has shown more proof than the Jewish people. So, how in the world can you say that you complaining about things that you know that you've done, or things that you know that you haven't done, that warrant your current place on the world stage? Even the African, even the continental African of the 50 or so countries of the continent of Africa have more integrity than you. They may not have the prosperity that you take for granted, but the continental African, he knows who he is. And we know the truth, that you are his brother. The continental African of Kemetic descent. But he knew that you when your people were in the various nations of Africa, he couldn't trust you. Thus, he sold you into slavery. And you complain about slavery. You couldn't live amongst yourself properly. Every other nation sold you into slavery because of your rambunctiousness. Slavery was the only thing that kept you and your kind human. Slavery made you human. This is the truth. This is the facts. Slavery made you human. When you complain about slavery, you complain about the truth. Your issue is with the truth. As free men, you can't come together on a single thing. As Jews, Orthodox, conservative, reform, and everything in between, we can come together because we have something that we know that no other nation has. And that's the cover. We are Israel. You can only claim about how good you are on the basketball court, on the track field, on the football field, and supposedly in the bedroom. Then you try to falsely claim the little bits and pieces that really put this nation together. Moreover, one of your own, smartly so, the elder coroners of the FOPE, broke from your branch of the Black Hebrew Israelite cult and embraced the more sensible ideology of Hebrew Israelism. Though it's wrong, he is at least level-headed and sympathetic against the chaotic, megalomaniac Black Hebrew Israelites. The Great Millstone, the Irish UPK, Zabak, Nathaniel, the guerrilla Hebrew, such aptly titled The Sikh Curry and the other Hebrew Israelite, black Hebrew Israelite, black Hebrew Israelite, flotsam and jetsam. You know, these are Shalil Hashem to not only the legacy, the real legacy of the Jewish people, but to all of humanity. And it is our duty to expose that which is false every time. So, you know, Bloomberg wasn't wrong when he said that blacks, Hispanics, can't properly conduct themselves on the job. They say it's their flavor. But what flavor is it if the flavor has no substance? They're all substance. If they're all style and no substance. If you're nothing but a minstrel, with nothing but style, what good are you? Substance. We're talking about substance, and that is what you don't have. That is what Mayor Bloomberg was talking about. Mayor Bloomberg is not a racist. Stop and frisk is good. Stop and frisk was a righteous thing. Mayor Bloomberg knows what he was doing when he had stop and frisk. I don't know why you people are crying about it. It seems as if when black men are free, those that are not obedient to the norms of society, the ones that want to create the society on their own and then take over by dividing and conquering illegally, these men that want to rule by their own megalomaniac, religious, semi-pseudo-religious organizations with their big mouths and their megaphones and the buckles and the brass and their bombastic way of speaking that are none of Hashem. They are dehumanizing the Hebrew Israelite name the heritage of the Hebrews, of Israelites, of the Jewish people, and they're likening it unto excrement. Because they turn it into basically another one of their gangs, another one of their anti-social, social organizations that fail to enhance the lives of those they claim to serve. This is why the BHI Tower Watch exists, to expose these black Hebrew Israelites, in quotation marks, Hebrew Israelites. Why do we say black Hebrew Israelites? Because that's 90%, maybe 99% of you. 80 black men lined up on a street corner, talking garbage, taking the Torah out of context, when it never applied to you, and acting just like how Mayor Bloomberg act. Yes. And I say, great, horrible times will be for those that blasphemed against the good mayor in that debate. I'm talking about Senator Warren, Senator Sanders, and even the Vice President Biden. Though I'm no fan, they have much to be accountable. I'll tell you, I'm no fan of the political spectrum these days. But if I wanted to support somebody, Mike is just right by me. He's more right than a Hebrew Israelite. Mayor Mike is more right than a black Hebrew Israelite, in that we at the BHI Terror Watch bid you shalom.